can assure you nobody's taking that hat for this year.
But I hope he will retire after he loses.
There won't be another coach. I'm impressed with everybody but him.
It's because they're scared that they may be wrong.
Fully capable of surpassing all of them.
I'm going to give her a run for her money.
I'm coming to win. I'm not coming for fun.
Fair and unfortunate.
He's going to come with losses. It's not the end of the world.
Need for a black curtain backdrop, and I get it.
Bodybuilding is my control within chaos.
My conditioning kills.
Look, you got a really exclusive interview because I ain't been saying none of this shit, yo. I've been holding my tongue on the internet.
Yes, guys. Okay, it is Monday Night Muscle, and this is actually coming out to you on a Wednesday because the Arnold was only a few days ago. And I just want to say, Monday Night Muscle, I did this show last week, and like I said, this is going to be a weekly recap of the shows the following weekend. So we're going to talk about Arnold Classic. But I did want to have a co-host. I didn't want to do this by myself. So I reached out to the first person that was on my mind because we did an interview a few weeks ago. It went down really well. I thought we had a very good connection. She has very strong knowledge across the board. That's why I reached out to 8-time Olympian Wendy Fortino, and she was nice enough to give me a thumbs up to say yes. So, Wendy, thank you for joining.
It is my pleasure, and I'm so excited to be here with you. I cannot wait to talk and break down everything that happened with Arnold. It's going to be an awesome conversation. I can't wait.
Absolutely. So, a couple of things. One, my voice is still croaky from the weekend, so apologies. And this mic looks like it's working. It isn't. It actually just arrived 10 minutes ago. I've only just put it for show because I still need to adjust the sound.
Tell people that.
I'm not plugged in yet. It's just there for show, but it will be working next week. Secondly, if I do look down, it's because I'm looking at my phone because we might have potentially Nick Walker might be jumping on at some point. So I do have to keep my eye on there because he is training at the moment. He might jump on for 5-10 minutes. However, we do have a number of guests today. And the whole point of what we're trying to do every week is we bring on a variety of different guests to talk about the different divisions. And we are going to aim to try and touch on all the divisions. We may speak about some more than others because, you know, some were a bit more dramatic, if that's a safe word to use. And what was I going to say? And of course, if you guys look at the timestamps, I'm going to put everything there. You can skip if needed. Yeah. But Wendy, first off, I just want to say, thank you again for being part of it. I really, really appreciate it. And I'm really looking forward to it. And we're going to try and get a variety of different guests, from judges to pros to coaches. It'll be good. Every week will always be different.
Awesome. I like how you're already building trust with the audience right out of the gate, you know, being transparent about your microphone, making sure that people know exactly what's going on.
I can't even set up properly because his kid's falling down as well. So that's why I'm like, I'll leave it there.
Like I said, we're building trust with the audience. You know, you don't need to sugarcoat anything. We're not here to, we're going to give our full blown, true, honest assessment on everything. And right out of the gate, you know that that's the case. So that's good.
Perfect. Sorry, I just had a message from one of the guys who was going to be part of it. Let's get our first guest because, like I said, guys, normally we do these, we be more well planned because right now everyone's flying back from the Arnold to all the different places, and it was the Arnold Classic, so everyone was there, and they're all flying from different time zones. So let me bring up our first guest because this is going to be our guest co-host, and she knows I'm a fan of hers because she's a WWE fan, and those medals, those trophies can tell you exactly who she is. It is Missy Truscott. Missy, you're all good?
All good. How you doing, Suki? Hi, Wendy.
Hello.
Missy, so I appreciate you jumping on. You weren't at the Arnold's. Why? Why were you
No, I was not there. I mean, shoot, what a year to miss, though. Gosh, Nick did so well. So proud of him. But yeah, I just have a lot going on in my personal life. You know, I'm back working, really focusing on my off season so I can make improvements this year in the figure division. So yeah, just a lot going on, but all good stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Well, look, let's start with your former division, and that is fitness. We are going to try to touch on all the divisions, and we've got different guests coming on throughout. But fitness, we do have to talk about fitness. I'll be honest, it isn't the division I would say my knowledge is high up. I do know some of the main players. Obviously, I followed fitness when Missy was there. I'm sure a lot of people did as well. Missy, I'm really keen to hear your thoughts on the division because Michelle Mensah, the Olympia 2025 champion, she did what she was supposed to do. She turned up, she locked it down, she got the win, and now she's had two major back-to-back wins. How did you see it? What was your thoughts?
Yeah, so when Shelly walked out at prejudge, man, she was on. And every year she gets like on stage, whether it's the Olympia or now like doing the Arnold, she just looks better and better and better. So congratulations to Shelly on that win. Allison looked incredible too in the physique round. She was second. And then we saw like that crazy like outcome with Amber Steffen taking second place because her routine was phenomenal and she placed first. So yeah, it was an exciting fitness lineup, and all of the girls actually were very, very good in the physique round. You saw a lot of conditioning. The shape is there. Like you see in the fitness division, they are judged as figure competitors. So, you know, they're doing their quarter turns. That's what they're being judged on, and that's one third of their final score. So I'm proud of all those girls for really showing like the conditioning and the shape. And yeah, they really brought it this year. It was a great Arnold lineup.
Wendy, I mean, look, we all expected Michelle to turn up and get probably arguably, get the job done. Because I mean, in my eyes, and maybe for the majority of people, I look at Michelle and they're thinking, how is somebody going to beat that? Like the physique, the muscle, the finesse, the presentation.
Yeah.
Did you have it the same way that the judges and of course Missy's were talking?
Well, especially considering that she won when she won the Olympia. I feel like she's still not the most polished version of the Michelle that we're gonna see as she continues to evolve. And so in my eyes, I feel like she's kind of at the very beginning of her road because she's like continuing to just get more and more polished. You know what I mean? But I also agree with Missy in the physique round. I feel like all the fitness competitors are really starting to step up their game in the physique round. And like, I'm not sure if they're all rallying together, like, hey girls, let's start to really step up our game in the fit because they all really are starting to bring it in the shape and the symmetry. And it really is starting to look like they're taking the physique round seriously. I don't know if there's talk maybe behind the scenes, if they're getting together and trying to go back to the 50-50 judging. I don't know. But the physiques really did impress me also. And then, of course, like I said, Michelle, she's on her way up. She's just going to keep getting better. So we're only seeing the very beginning of her reign right now, I think.
Missy, is that something you agree with? I mean, do you see that Michelle's ceiling? I mean, how close is she to a ceiling? And is there an opportunity that maybe she could have a sustained period of dominance?
Yeah, I mean, Shelly is so dominant in the physique round. I don't see anyone beating her, any of the competitors at the Olympia this year. No one is beating Shelly in the physique round unless she comes in totally off. Where Shelly is really dominant and so eye-catching is she is so athletic. My husband and I have this analogy where Shelly comes with like an AK-47 to the fight, and everyone else is coming with like a knife because she is just so out of this world, and the skills that she does is not like anything else. But we got Taylor Learmont working in the shadows here, right? Little T, she's coming, and she's just getting better every year. And growing her physique, and that's what the judges expect, right? So we just saw Amber in the second call out in the physique round.
Yeah.
And then she won the routine round. So if Taylor Learmont can make it in the first call out in the physique round at this year's Olympia, she has a shot at winning,
Yeah.
So Shelly has to, really bring that conditioning on the backside to solidify her in the #1 spot for the physique round because Allison is creeping in there. You know, Jack will creep in there. She always comes conditioned. So yeah, it's going to be an exciting fitness Olympia this year. There's so many girls coming up. Shelly, of course, is dominating. We got Taylor working in the shadows. So yeah,
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
So, you know, when we look at the judging in the fitness division, it's interesting because, you know, there's always talk about how the judges, they're not like dance judges, they're not gymnastics judges. And so some of the girls, they come in with really strong gymnastics backgrounds. They do, you know, crazy flips and crazy gymnastic skills. And I don't feel like that's necessarily appreciated by the judges in the way that it would be if we were watching a gymnastics competition, right? However, what I feel with Shelly is that her skills really display a high level of fitness. Like you said, like we see power, we see speed, we see, you know, just elite level fitness. And it seems like that's what the judges are. That's the sign. That's the message they're trying to send to these girls. It's not a gymnastics routine. It's a who is the most athletic, fittest woman in the world through the display of these skills that you're performing. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, Wendy, you nailed that on the head. Let's just look at Amber Steffen's routine. If we remember that, she was doing crazy kicks, cartwheels. She was not stopping to take breath. She was moving that old school 80s, 90s, like Kelly Ryan fitness routine. So you're right about that. And you're right with the dancing and the gymnastics. You know, some of those skills are really hard to do. And yeah, I don't think the judges know how difficult it is. So when you have someone like Taylor that nails these skills that are extremely difficult, but she makes it look so easy. So everyone's like, oh man, it's easy. We've seen her do that on Instagram, but it's not.
I know. Yeah.
Well,
agreed.
Well, look, unbelievable work, Michelle. She'll be doing the Arnold UK. Now, I do have another guest just about to jump on because he was going to jump on a little bit later, but he does need to go to gym because he's off to China tomorrow morning. So, Missy, I'm going to test your knowledge on men's physique because we've got Andre Ferguson, a guy who knows all about winning Arnold Classic titles. So I'm just going to wait for Andre to jump
there we go.
Yeah, here he is.
Andre!
What up?
We let you turn your screen around.
Wait, hold on. How come it ain't turned?
I don't know, man. It's on you.
All right, hold on. All right, I think I go here.
We got you. Are you driving?
Yeah, hell yeah. Yo, how do I wait, hold on a second.
While Andre is fixed, I think he's going to fix it.
There we go.
I think it's done.
There we go.
No, here. No, I'm right side up. Don't you want me this way?
There he is. Okay.
There we go. Wendy, what up, girl?
What up? How are you? Oh, I'm so happy to see you. It's going to be fun.
Same old.
Can't wait to hear your thoughts on all this.
Dre, men's physique. We spoke at the Arnold. We just happened to be on the same flight to New York the other day, and we happened to be on the same. He basically sat next to me as well. I was like the entire time. I was like, we just couldn't get away from each other. But Dre, you did call it. I called a lot of it. I called Vitor in second. I called Vitor challenging for the win, and he did get first place votes. I called Dilson in fifth. Was nobody talking about Dilson until I mentioned him. Oh, I also said Ben was getting sixth, and it wasn't me hating. I placed him where I thought he was going to be, sixth.
Yeah.
Well, look, let's talk about the main guy, Brandon Hendrickson. He got the win. I will say this as well. Like the moment Wendy, Missy, did you get a chance to watch any of the men's physique?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Brandon just came out, and that front, you know, is something he's so known for. Was so strong. Andre, you were there as well at pre-judging. I want to talk about pre for a moment. How impressed were you in Brandon? I know you saw play updates before that, but now we all got to see it in person.
Like I told everybody, if you were watching pre-judging, Brandon was the only person who was glowing off the stage. And y'all like to force him in this box about the front. Yo, his back was peeled. Like you got someone like E-Man who has a great back, right? But I don't have E-Man winning the back pose if you're not as peeled as the guy that's winning. Like you don't win the back pose just because you have the best back. You have to be peeled with the best back to win the back pose.
Yeah. I have a question for you. So, you know, we're seeing a trend here. You know, some of you guys who have been around for a long time, you know, we've got Brandon, we've got you, obviously Ryan Terry, you know, the back shot, speaking of, the thing that makes you guys really stand out is the fact that you've been at it for so long that it's really difficult to battle out with the depth and the tenure that you've established in your back. And so some of these new guys that are strong from the front, it's like they can't really hang with you guys from the back, because I think, in my opinion, is that you've just been at it for long enough to where the muscle density is so strong. What are your thoughts?
I would agree with that, but yo, just flat out, Wendy, yo, the cream rises to the top, and we've had it in a chokehold for a reason. Like the guys, those guys at the top, that's always at the top, they've just been the best guys for 10 years. Like there's nothing to really read into it, but those guys are just really, really good.
Yeah.
Look, Brandon first. I think Vitor. I want to say for the majority, I think Vitor did surprise a lot of people. I want to explain what I mean by surprise, because we know he's a top tier compared to. But I want to explain why. It's because every update he was just getting better and better and better. A lot of people talk about E-Man and Andre, and didn't see that Vitor was talked about enough. You're shaking your head because you believe that Vitor was always going to be a threat.
Yo, only a fair weather fan thinks Vitor's been top 4, top 5 in every New York pro, every Pittsburgh pro. He's been top 10 at every Olympia he's done. How is this shocking?
I think what I'm saying shocking, as in the fact that the majority of conversation, when I saw a lot of predictions, people were having more of Andre E-Man.
Suki, I don't care about the majority of predictions, bro, because those people are people who don't know what the hell they're talking about. Most of the time, it's people riding with their favorites, not riding with who's better.
Yeah.
So you're.
I like Andre, so I'm picking him over this guy. That's how people think. They don't say, "Oh, Andre's better, so I'm picking him over that guy." They say, "I like Andre better."
What about from an athlete perspective? Because it could be a superpower, right? I mean, by design, if you're not in the conversation as much, I feel like sometimes that's a superpower because it takes the pressure off. You know that you're going to be in the mix, and if people aren't talking about you as much, that could be the thing that makes you extra powerful, extra confident, and not feel all that pressure. So it's also almost like the best of all worlds. You know what I mean?
Going under the radar is cool.
Yeah,
it's cool because people like. When you're under the radar, you're not the guy everyone's shooting at. Like you don't like the guy that everyone's shooting at has all the pressure. So Brandon had all of the pressure, and dude, he delivered.
Missy, look, I mean, I'm gonna test you on men's physique here as well, because like this division, the guys at the top, they always seem to bring at the big shows, and we did it again at the Arnold Classic. What is about Brandon that impresses you the most? Because this is a guy who's been competing for so long now. He's not slowing down. He's only one Olympia win away from the record. There is a consensus that he is arguably the GOAT because of the wins for all in different continents, shows, Olympia, Arnold, New York, Pittsburgh, all that. What's your thoughts on Brandon Hendrickson?
I think that Brandon has
I didn't even see Missy over there. Let me swipe over so I can see everybody. Missy, I didn't even know you was on here. What's up, girl?
Yeah, so I think that Brandon literally has one of the best midsections in the entire IFBB Pro League. And that's a big like staple part in men's physique, right? It's like what your midsection looks like. Now I believe he worked with Joey KJ Center Stage this year for posing.
Yeah.
And you saw this confidence in the prejudge at the Arnold when he came out on stage. He was like he just had this like aura about him getting into his poses, and your eyes just always went to him when they did the lineup. So I would love to see Brandon like get an Olympia win this year. He's right there, right? One of the best athletes in the men's physique division. So I'm rooting for Brandon. He had a great showing. He's got the momentum now, and is he doing Pittsburgh?
Dre.
I think he's shutting it down. I know he's on his way to Bali right now. He's on the list for the UK Arnold, but I'm not sure if he's doing it or not. I forgot to ask him that this morning.
I can't see him doing Pittsburgh. Now, I know Aaron Banks has already confirmed to do Pitts.
Yeah, no, he's definitely not going to do Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
He's definitely not going to do Pittsburgh in New York. Definitely.
Andre, what do you think strategy wise? What are your thoughts on the strategy of going from the Arnold, Ohio to the Arnold, UK after a big win? I mean, what do you think strategy wise about that?
Oh yeah, he should go take the money. Like me, if I was I would go take the other 15 grand too. Like that's
I know
easy
you're
money. It's easy money because he dominated that field. It's easy money. Just go take another trophy and another check.
How much? What's the most money you won in one season, Andre?
62 grand.
The last year.
62 grand. Yep.
And the majority were Masters shows, right?
Yeah, but I get paid really big bonuses between my two sponsors. So like I could leave a show only doing Masters division and leave there with 12, 15 grand. And that's just a regular show like that I can go into at 85% and take that.
See, that's your strategy.
I mean, no. That was my strategy for last year, Wendy. The strategy always changes depending on what my goal is. Like I have a different goal every season. So this year, my goal is being Mr. Olympia again. So I'm not doing the master shows this year.
Okay. So we're
going on a real title run again.
All right. Okay. So where do you feel like you fall in your strengths versus Brandon's strengths, weaknesses? How do you
dialed in, I still beat everybody.
Nice.
I've really been like people think I'm motion. I've really been half-assing it for 3 seasons because I didn't care about being Mr. Olympia. Life has been good to me. So I've cared about other things more than winning bodybuilding shows. So I was winning and still making it to the Olympia, not really trying, and I was cool with that. But I got some newfound motivation and shit. So I'm gonna get back after it. I changed my coach. I'm actually being coached by Brandon's coach too now. So we're gonna go a real title run.
Let's go. Okay. Love it.
Dre, I'm not going to drop you out yet because we're going to have Terrence Ruffin jump on in a moment, but he's having some issues.
Hold on. I wanted to say one thing though, Suki, right? With Brandon, people get it messed up, right? Brandon doesn't have the best midsection. Brandon has the best flow of everything. When you put it together, that front shot is just murderous. It's not that he has the best abs or he has the best chest or he has the best shoulders. When you look at that front shot, that shit is money.
Yeah. That's what you're chasing after now.
Yeah, because this is what I love about Brandon's physique, and I've told him this. He doesn't have any wow body part. He doesn't have the best anything, but he has the best everything. And what I mean by that is he doesn't have the best any single body part, but when you put his body together, that shit is the best body.
That's a good way of putting it.
I mean, look, there's no doubt there's so much more, so much excitement going into this Olympiads. Look, Andre is there too. He's back in he was doing open classes anyway last year along with Masters, but this is a guy who's won arguably the most titles in men's physique. Do you still have that record?
Yeah, no one's catching that. I have 28 wins. No one's even close. But I'll say this, right? So I have to go campaign, right? I can't say I'm going to be Mr. Olympia today. So I got to go campaign. Y'all got to go see what I do in the season. Like, I can't go into a Toronto Pro and place 4th and think I'm going to be Mr. Olympia. No, I'm going into Toronto Pro to dominate. I'm not going there to win. Just winning isn't cool for me at the Toronto Pro. Like, I'm going there to make a statement, to really, really put my foot on people's throats again. And I also know after Toronto Pro, I got to go headhunt some guys that are in the top, because it's the kind of league where you got to step on people to get to where you want to go. Like, you can't, like, where I want to go, I can't win the Wichita Pro and go there. Where I want to go, I got to step on people's throats that are in the top 10 to get there.
Drake, like I want, can you hold on here for a little bit longer?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, wait for Terrence to jump on. I want to talk about the Open then. Let me talk about the Open. And let's start with yourself, Missy, because I just watched your recap.
Yo, man, I think Nick Walker could have won the whole thing, man.
Well, look, in fact, I'm talking to Nick at the moment. He might be jumping on shortly. He's just finished his training, so he might be jumping on. He's not sure. He's training at the moment.
See, this conversation's getting so good. Like nobody wants to leave this chat.
I know.
Like,
I'm just waiting. Like Terrence is trying to get in.
Here.
Nick is just finishing training. Lee Priest was going to jump on, but he's on a plane at the moment.
Yeah.
And he can't get any connection. Missy.
Everybody wants in.
Andrew Jack, Nick Walker. My first question I want to say, who did you have winning?
I'm biased, but Nick got robbed.
I like her.
Yeah. Suki, my eyes. Okay, so this past Olympia, my eyes kept going to Andrew. Okay.
Yeah.
This Arnold, and then Derek won, obviously. Derek looked amazing. This Arnold, my eyes were stuck on Nick the entire time, even at prejudge when he wasn't getting compared in the middle. And then the night show, they were like really moving them around. And Nick, between him and Andrew, Nick has more muscularity. Yeah. He was more conditioned. We can argue that his symmetry obviously isn't as good as Andrew's. So out of those three, Nick was 2, Andrew was 1, in my opinion. Andrew had the symmetry. But, I'm not a judge. So
I call it like this, right? Yo, if you're just looking at standing there, Andrew Jack's physique is pretty. Like, it's just pretty. It really is. It really is. But, it's a bodybuilding competition. Like, it's not like all the other things still matter. It's not just shape and structure over everything. So what I don't get is this, right? In certain divisions, they'll say, oh, well, this guy won because of conditioning. But then they'll justify the same exact outcome on the other side for somebody else saying it was shape and structure. So which one is it? Is it shape and structure or is it conditioning?
Is that a message? Is that a message they just sent out by Andrew Jack beating Nick Walker? Are they saying that we are going for shape, symmetry, and Nick Walker, if you do step on the big shows like against Samson, against Andrew, you're not going to win?
Maybe it's just shape and symmetry at the Arnold. Maybe Olympia's going
to... Okay, so
I don't understand how the most conditioned guy has no shot of winning. That's crazy to me.
Well, okay, I slightly disagree because I just am like such a huge fan of the art of the sport. And when I see like a beautiful physique, like,
I gotta pause you 1 second, Wendy. I'm a shape and structure guy too, because I'm shape and structure.
And that's why you're gonna win. That's why you're gonna win.
I am a shape and structure guy, but I'm just like, where's the judging consistent though?
Well, here's the thing though about that. Okay. There's so many different divisions that it's not consistent. And I think there's a little confusion across the board, to be honest, because every division has a different set of criteria. And it really does kind of get confusing because each set of criteria is different and can confuse you if you kind of blend it together. But I think bodybuilding, like if you look at like the old school like bodybuilders, when you look at someone like Sean Ray posing, and he wasn't the biggest guy, he wasn't the mass monster, and I'm sorry, but when I see Sean Ray next to Dorian Yates and I see his like the beauty and the flow, like that artistic physique, that's what I love to see. And when you see Andrew Jack up there posing, and I loved his song, I loved like the Mona Lisa tie-in, I love the words that he had, and the whole time I was watching his routine I was thinking, is this allowed? I'm like, why not? I mean, these guys should be able to do whatever they want and have entertainment also. But I was really appreciating the artistry of his physique. And I'm also a huge Nick fan. So, I mean, I love Nick's physique. I love that he takes what he has to work with and he brings it the absolute best that he possibly can. And I wouldn't have had a problem with him winning either. But I really do love the artistic flow of Andrew's physique. And I thought it was a good decision, to be honest. I mean, I love both of them, but that's, yeah.
I 1000% agree with you, Wendy.
Yeah.
Missy, you use the word term robbed. I mean, that's very strong terminology. And
wait, hold up, Suki, you got to quote her verbatim. the first thing she said is, "I'm biased."
I know, and that's
So
what
she,
I linked
so
to.
so so you
watch-
have don't leave that part out. But
I'll-
I tell people the same thing. Like, yo, when I'm being biased on my pick, I'm gonna tell you I'm being biased on the pick.
Right.
I was gonna add that as well because I know you're a Nick Walker fan.
I
But
think we all are.
look,
Yeah, hell yeah.
I was next to Seth Feroci. I was next to Derek. I have the judges directly behind me. Samson only a couple of rows. Even Samson was like, the guy I looked up to was Nick Walker. When I was on stage, he got my attention. The crowd was very much, I felt very pro Nick as well. That's not against Andrew. It's just that I think everybody was there, maybe just hoping for that moment to hear Nick's name be called out as the winner. Because I want to just go to the moment when we announced Hardy as third place. Did you hear? I don't know if you heard it on the live stream or in the audience, but the crowd straight away, there was a bit of a roar because they knew, oh shit, okay, Nick versus Andrew. Nick might just do it. And there were so many reaction videos of people filming themselves when Nick was out second place, just screaming like, oh no. Like, I've never seen that before. Like, his fan base is so arguably the biggest fan base in bodybuilding.
Yeah.
When it was open.
So look, right? This is why I don't understand the judging, right? Because you remember Samson just lost to Martin, right?
Yeah.
In Prague. Yo, they picked the conditioning over the more beautiful physique. So I don't understand how they like the same consistency didn't go for this show. And even though I prefer Andrew Jack, yo, dude, Nick Walker could have got that win, and you couldn't have been mad about that.
I agree with that. Yeah, for sure.
And let's be real. Yo, the competitors, yo, that kind of conditioning Nick Walker was in, we know what kind of hard work that is. We know what it takes to get that peeled. And remember, he coaches himself. So that being said, like, yo, dude, when I'm looking at it, I'm like, yo, bro, that's wild. And yo, and like Missy said, yo, he easily has the most muscularity. Easily, too. His rear double is wild.
All back poses, yeah.
Well, we're in a different era right now. I mean, it's a really interesting era that we're in because regardless of what happens on the stage and what the judges decide, we're in a whole new generation where, you know, the people will speak. You know, we have the peanut gallery is very huge, and with having access to everything, you know, the fan base will speak up. And in a lot of ways, Nick really does probably feel like a winner because second place, first place, whatever. I mean, the roar of the fan base really does, I would imagine, make him feel like I'm winning. I am so winning this right now.
He said that. He's like, I might not won the show, but I won in so many other places.
Like, there's a feeling of winning when you have that kind of big outpour of support. I mean, it has to be better than the actual. I mean, I'm sure nothing is actually better than the title, but that has to be such a close feeling of getting that title.
Trey, how much time have we got with you, mate, before you shoot?
I'm at the gym, so whenever you want, like whenever I break out, I break out. But the reason why I have to get on here is because I already took pre-workout, and then you trying to push it back, and I'm over at the crib, my skin bubbling. I'm like, yo, Suki, we gotta run this, so you're gonna have to wait till after I get out the gym, bro.
Sorry, Missy, you were gonna say something.
Oh, I was just gonna say, Wendy, that's a like a good thing you brought up because I really feel like after prejudge there was a lot of hype. People were making a lot of videos about Brandon Curry not being compared to Martin. And for instance, I saw one that Antoine did, and there was a lot of likes on it, a lot of views, and I don't know.
Oh, has Missy frozen?
No. Oh my gosh.
She came back.
Okay. Missy, we lost you. We were right on the edge of our seat. You were talking about Martin.
Yeah, you gotta say that again.
We were like on the edge of our seat. Okay, keep going. Keep going. Say that again.
So no, it was just interesting, Wendy, that you brought that up because I noticed on social media after prejudging that Brandon Curry was getting a lot of like hype. Antoine actually made a video and was like, guys, we need to make sure that like Brandon gets compared to like someone in the 4th and 5th place because this is not fair. So it's cool that, like you said, the peanut gallery, us fans, followers can put our opinion out there, and who knows, who knows who's going to hear it and if he's going to get another look. But yeah.
And
I'm glad.
I'm glad the judges did it that way at the final call out at the finals. They could have done a top 5 call out with the top 3 and then Martin and Brandon, but no, they said no. It's Hardy, Nick, and Andrew, and then we'll put Martin with Rafa and Brandon. You aren't going to be in that final call out with. But I want we got to touch on Martin. Obviously, a lot of things have now happened in the last 72 hours since everything unfolded. We've obviously heard everything's happened backstage. Unfortunately, I've heard plenty from the girls and the pro town of what happened. We saw the inaction of no handshake, the reaction on stage, then of course the aftermath on social media. As of yesterday, unfortunately, I do have to use the word unfortunately because it still involves there's a human element in this. He's lost all of his sponsors. I'm going to go for you, Missy. What's your thoughts on everything that has unfolded for Martin Fitzwater? And personally, I've never seen such a dramatic downfall in such a short space of time. And once again, I do want to emphasize there is a human at the end of this. I'm trying to talk about Martin Fitzwater, the human, rather than Martin Fitzwater, the competitor. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, so I'm not about the cancel culture. I don't think he should have lost his sponsorship.
I was so fast too.
Yeah, you can not like someone, you can disagree with someone. I do think the unsportsmanlike behavior on stage is it's a little bit tacky, but we all could have gotten over that,
Word. Great word.
Yeah. Let 2 weeks go by, everyone would have forgot about it. But, if you're putting hands on competitors or whatever happened, that's not right. But I do think that we shouldn't kick him while he's down. Like I'm seeing a lot of stuff on social media. I just hope that he gets the help he needs, whether it's through like therapy or a mentor, someone to talk to him, to get him through this hard time because, bodybuilding's tough, right? It's tough on your family. You sacrifice a lot. We're tough on ourselves. And of course, Martin is tough on himself. We all know that. I just hope that he can see like the light at the end of the tunnel and do what he needs to do to change and reinvent himself and then come back even better because he is a top open bodybuilder.
Really
He's in that top 5. And
so well put. That's so beautifully put, honestly.
Yeah.
What you just said.
One day he could be Mr. Olympia, so let's hope he gets his head on straight.
Go on, Dre.
Yeah.
So I got a couple of things on this. Missy, you're correct on all of what you just said, right? But I got a couple of things on this part, right? Number one is the reason why he lost his sponsors. This is not the first episode with him. This has been going on. This is a reoccurring thing with him for a couple of years now. It's just behavioral recognition, it's pattern recognition of your behavior. That's all it really is. And then on top of that, right? When Martin wins, like if you've seen him beat Samson, he celebrates so aggressively in everyone's face. So it's not mental health when you're winning and celebrating in people's faces, but now it's mental health because you lost, you did something wrong, and you lost, and you had to lay in a bed that you made after.
I haven't thought about that.
So I feel for the person because I don't agree with cancel culture either, Missy. Like I'm not with that shit at all, right? Yeah. But at a point, you're gonna be held accountable for yourself, and this doesn't look good for any company being associated with that person. It doesn't, and I don't want to see this happen to nobody. But like Martin, like people have warned you about things before, and you just keep doing it like you don't care. So if you don't care, eventually people are not going to care on the other side, and you're going to get punished for it. Do I think? And look, I can also say this. Nobody needs to make another video about him. If you make another video, you're just kicking him while he's down now, cause it's over, bro. It's over, dude. Everyone said what they needed to say. What happened to him happened to him. It's over, bro. Like we all wish the best for him going forward. Cause look, even that I might not agree with what he's doing. I don't want to see Martin in a bad light or in a bad space going forward. No, I don't. No.
Yeah. I have a quick, really thought. Oh, go ahead. I just really quick thought. I'm going to be super fast here. I'm just going to say that I believe that most top bodybuilders probably should invest in, and I'm not even kidding, a PR manager, because is that what you were going to say? Because honestly,
he's like, damn, he could have used that.
I'm sorry. Well, here's the thing. I feel like we all feel the feels. I mean, when you're a top elite athlete, you are here to win. You're not here to get second. You're not here to get third, fourth, fifth. Like, you're there to win. And it feels so intense. And everything he said and everything he's done is exactly the way that all of us that consider ourselves to be champions, how we feel. We just don't say it out loud. And there's sometimes I think it's unfortunate when people are in the early stage of their journey and they're so good, they rise to the top. It's like they don't have that filtration, and maybe investing in a PR manager could really help, because just knowing how to deal with that publicly so that you don't have to deal with all the lemmings and the freaking people that jump on and say things. Agreed. And they don't ever have to deal with that kind of pressure. You could probably protect your legacy moving forward.
So Wendy, the way I tell people, you can do that on your own, right? So what I tell people is this is why the highs are not supposed to get you that high, because the lows floor you then, Wendy. So I tell, it's just like, like when I'm getting ready for a show, right? And say I'm like 3 weeks out and I look awesome, right? When I post a video or post a picture, I don't read the comments. And this is the reason why. I don't even want to see the support, because I appreciate it, right? But I don't want it to get to my head and now I'm riding high off of it. Now that I don't get the results I wanted and I feel like I let everyone else down. Because look, you do feel like you let yourself down, but you have a whole community behind you that you feel like you let down. So I try not to even ride the good things too high, because then the negative things are just going to floor you.
I think, look, I couldn't see any other option than Martin actually losing his sponsors. And the reason for that is there was never any sort of ownership, accountability, responsibility, even to the point when he did lose his sponsors. His response was, I hope you're all happy. So, as in passing the blame to everybody else. And then you look at the messages from Elevate and Raw. Dre, we spoke at the airport and I was like, oh, you lose the sponsors. And you were like, well, you have sales and all this other stuff. But they were talking about their guidelines. And you got to think, Elevate, they also sponsored Nick Walker. Then then you got Raw. Raw, Chris Bump said, he set such a high standard. You got people like Sam Sulek, who arguably has more trolls than anybody else in the industry. And yet he holds himself at a high standard in regards to a public figure. So seeing all that, and then the association with somebody that may go against your own guidelines, I'm not surprised that was the end result. And I have heard as well that it's good that his partner has still got the deals with Raw and Elevate. So it's not like both of them have lost. I guess here is the real question, and what we hope we see from Martin is that he does take this time to reflect, because time is going to be the greatest healer for him, to reflect and look at his own personal development. I have had a message from a member of his family, and I won't obviously say who it is, but it is a very pivotal member. And I know they're actually thankful of seeing messages like from Phil Heath, Fuad Lee Priest, asking for people of his mob mentality to stop. He's had enough punishment. He's lost all his sponsors. His revenue stream is gone. He's had enough. I'm hearing as well, people are still sending messages to the Pro League asking to be banned. Like, that needs to be stopped. Like,
come on.
This is getting too far.
It's over, dude. It's over. Like it's over.
Yeah. Give me a break.
You're literally just kicking him while he's down at this point.
Yeah, like, come on, people.
That's it. But look,
you know what?
Yeah.
We kind of live in this evil world now where people like to pile on the negative more than they like to pile on the positive. So it's like this mob culture of wanting to ruin people now.
Yeah.
No, I agree. So I want to end it there on Martin. Dre, do you need to shoot to a gym because I get parked up?
I got to dip.
Dre,
So fun.
Also
Yo,
speak to you. You're off to China,
always
right?
a
Tomorrow.
pleasure. Wendy's like my favorite. Missy,
Oh yeah.
you know I fuck with you too though. And Suki, bro, yo, whenever you need me, bro, just hit me. And Suki, stop hitting me in the DM. That's why I gave you my
I know.
goddamn phone
I'll save your number, man. I've got your number. I'll WhatsApp you next
So I
time.
gave you my goddamn phone number, bro.
I've got it. I'll add you.
Have a good workout. Have a good workout. Oh my gosh. He's so fun.
Angel Competition Bikinis started in 2013 with the goal.
Okay, guys, part 2 of Monday Night Muscle, and look, it was great to have Dre there talking, give his insight on the Men's League Open. I'm still hoping that Nick Walker does jump in. He has seen everything, and he did say he'll let me know, so I keep my fingers crossed he does. But until then, let me bring in our next guest, because Sam Sulek said on the Arnold Classic stage that this guy is the best in posing in the world. He takes a lot of inspiration from this guy. I know plenty of people do take inspiration from the man that is Terrence Ruffin. Terrence,
how
you
you
good?
guys doing today? Yeah, I'm doing fantastic. Just enjoying the day. How are you all?
Good.
We're all good. We're all splendid. Before I talk about Classic, I just want to throw in, when you hear people talk about your posing ability, your presentation, showing appreciation. I mean, Sam Sulek said on stage that someone he takes inspiration from is yourself. Mm-hmm. That must be very humbling to hear that from just your peers.
Yeah, it's been a blessing, even before I was, placing that well, in competitions. That was something that allowed me to be noticed and to do well somewhat like it in the business of bodybuilding. So it's been amazing.
Let's talk Classic Physique, because really the drama started early, just like it did in Olympia. Okay. It didn't start on stage. It all started on Thursday. And, well, I mean, let's get straight to it. Mike Sommerfeld was the headline on Thursday. He missed weight by 6-7 pounds. I was there. I was with Neil and the team. Then, of course, he went home. He didn't come back. It just sounded like they did communicate to the team that they will not be re-weighing in.
Oh, wow.
Terrence, Mike, what's your thoughts? Because the build-up for the Arnold Classic, we even saw a couple of days before then, there was a head-to-head picture of Wesley and Mike. That was the headline act. That was the box office attraction that we're going to see the 2024 champion versus 2025 champion. However, it wasn't to be. And you would argue that social media was just blowing up about Mike because it was the second show running. However, this one meant that Mike would not be competing.
I do want to say first, like, good on the league, man, like holding people accountable,
Right.
it's a really nice thing to see. It does suck for the fans, but that's just a part of sports, For Mike, I think it's a bit silly, to be honest with you. Like, you know your height, you know where you're supposed to be, and I get that he maybe was at home measuring himself and thinking like, okay, I'm at 5'9", but I spoke with the one of the judges that measured him, and he's like, he's at least been under 5'9" 2 times he's measured him. He said 3, so I'm assuming the third one was at the Arnold. But like I've said this before, like I had a similar issue where back in like 2-3 years ago, I was heighted shorter and I had to go drop some weight. And then ever since that show, I just assume it's a shorter height. I don't have time to be coming to the show and trying to lose 8-9 pounds, So yeah. And I think as a professional, like it's a huge disservice to like everybody involved. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, waiting on that one person. Yeah.
Yeah.
Missy, what's your thoughts? Because you've been in the industry for so long, and Terrence talked about the disservice and the professionalism that is required. Because let's not forget, there are fans who bought tickets for Friday night wanting to see this battle between Mike and Wesley. That's nothing against Mengate or all the rest. The reality is that was the talking point: Wesley versus Mike.
Yeah.
Do you think that there is a professional aspect that if you have a weight to hit, you can't miss it, especially not on 2 occasions running?
Yeah. So like Wesley and Mike, they're the main event, right? For the Friday night show. We all wanted to see that battle. And I do believe there is that professionalism. You gotta know, right? But maybe Suki or Terrence, you can make it clear for us. What is the rule on getting heighted in? Is it every single show or is it just Olympia?
Terrence, you asked that question, Steve Weinberg at Prague, but I'll let you take it.
Yeah. So it's interesting. So they didn't give us any insight on what the rules were. So I asked them in Prague, were the heights going to be, because the original thing was the 3 averages and whatnot. Obviously, they found that wasn't the best way to do it because of the whole situation at the O. But this time around, the heights from the Olympia are supposed to carry on into the next year's Olympia, and they do it again. Uh, but that does leave loopholes. So, and I guess Mike was saying, well, um, I guess the loophole is you can measure in if you want to be taller, maybe, I guess. I think they just need to just whatever you get at the O, if you compete at the O, that just should be it. There should be no rehiding to maybe gain anything. I think that should be the ruling regardless, you know.
Yeah.
Um,
So there's really nothing like stated in the rules. You don't see it anywhere.
That's a good question.
I haven't seen, I haven't seen anything. I haven't looked, but like when they were explaining the rules at the Olympia, it wasn't very clear. That's why I asked in Prague, you know, and even then, like, yeah, I think they need to like state it somewhere, you know.
Right.
And just to finish on Mike, we thought that would be the only bit, but then of course we heard what happened yesterday because on Sunday he did reach out to Fuad about doing the Detroit Pro. Fuad did let me know that it could be a 50-50 chance he would do it. Mike then went back to Vegas to talk to Neil. Neil gave a thumbs up. And by the time Mike could communicate with Fuad to enter the show, he was already 2 or 3 hours late because he didn't take note of a time difference. Because obviously he's already in Pacific versus Eastern, which meant that he was unable to then do the application for the Detroit Pro. I do understand that they did ask for an exception, reach out to the Pro League, and unfortunately they said that rules are rules. It's a no-go. And that became public. So it was a second one. This time, obviously, Mike will not be doing Detroit Pro. He would not be going head to Wesley. We will have to wait until the Arnold UK. Wendy, I mean, I guess nobody would have known about it, but because Mike actually responded to a comment on a Fuad post, someone asking, is Mike doing a show? And he said he was 2 hours late for the application. That probably didn't help it.
Yeah, he kind of exposed that, kind of unfortunately put that out there. But it really does, I agree with Missy, like it really does sting for the fans, you know? I mean, this is a business and it relies on kind of the athletes working with professionalism and being prepared and being able to follow through with some of those expectations that the business and the fans have. And so it's just really just such a bummer all the way around because, and this is a good thing. I mean, I know it sounds negative with the things that maybe people are saying about Mike Sommerfeld, but if you could look at it in a really positive way in that people want so bad to see him on stage because he really is that good. I mean, his physique is just head turning, stunning physique that we really need to see on that stage. And so it breaks all of our hearts when we don't get to see him on the Arnold stage, then we don't get to see him on the Detroit stage. And then we're all going to be, waiting with bated breath to hope that we get to see him on the UK stage. And that will be, if that does happen, I mean, I'm hoping it does, that's going to be an exciting showdown, you know?
God's sake, someone tell him the time zone in the UK.
Tell him the time zone. Make sure he knows the time zone.
Yeah.
Terrence, I mean, he mentioned about the time zone. He mentioned that he couldn't get Wi-Fi on the plane. It's not good.
I mean, that's realistic stuff. Yeah, I saw Fuai. I literally just watched a video. I saw Fuai was like, he thought it was crazy that he didn't know, but like I don't know time zones in Europe. He's from Germany, so like it's understandable. Like maybe talk to like, and everything makes sense because you know even at the point of like my first thought was like, yo, talk to Neil in Ohio. You're there, but then you know there's a whole situation like I'm guessing Neil had other, you know, other athletes. Brandon just won, you know, so like it's tough, you know.
And I think too, it's one of those things where I would be willing to bet that he's probably not going to make the same mistake twice. I mean, this is a huge learning lesson, and if it does happen, then I feel like we could be a little bit harder on him. But this is all learning lesson, hopefully for him, to see how the fans even respond, knowing how important he is in the scene, knowing how much impact he has on the industry. I hope that motivates him, you know, and gets him to realize, hey, you know what? I better make sure that I double, triple, quadruple check all these things.
Yeah. And I will say it seems like he owned up to everything. Like,
yeah, he did.
So I like, yeah. So yeah.
Well, I literally before we finish on mic, I just got a voice note just now, 8 minutes ago from Neil Hill, just randomly just saying, Sugi, you're going to see the best ever Mike at the UK. He's looking absolutely nails. So we do hope that is the case because that is what we want to see. Because Wesley Vissers did win the title, but he didn't beat the reigning champion. He's going to have to do that on UK. Terrence, I want to throw it to yourself. Wesley Vissers, Mengate in second. Is that how you saw it?
Yeah, I think so. And I say that like Wesley was just so much bigger than Mengate. And like I'm a big fan of Mateus. Like I've been talking about him for I feel like 2-3 years now. But I think he just needs a bit more size. It was impressive because like this is the leanest he's been. And that's been my biggest critique on him, especially last year. Like he ended up losing to Niall because of conditioning, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So yeah. I think he was pretty good. And Jim Amole, I like him a lot too.
Best presentation he won, 10 grand.
Yeah. He's a good kid. It was so funny. He I guess I'm getting older now, and like so he sends me a text and he's like, "Yo, man, I got a question." I'm like, "Yo, what's up?" And he sends me a picture of the check, and he's like, "How do I take this on the plane?" I was like, "Dude," I was like, "I don't think you can." I personally always leave it. I don't know, but like, I'm like, "Dude, you're just gonna have to leave it, bro." Yeah. So he's
fold it up
super
and put it in
happy.
the suitcase. You gotta keep it. Fold it up.
Fold it up. Okay, I guess he could have folded it. Like, okay, yeah. But
the next one that you win, now you know. Just fold it up, Terrence.
I barely have any space for anything, but I'll try. I'll try for sure. But
Missy, look, Wesley got the win, and now Mike's already confirmed for Arnold UK. We're going to see the head-to-head that we wanted to see in Ohio.
Yeah.
Do you give Wesley a chance to beat Mike Sommerfeld, which, you know, Mike is a two-time second place of Olympia, second at the Arnold last year. However, we have seen an improved Wesley Vissers. There is an argument that there are still more improvements to be made, but how do you have it with Wesley going against Mike?
See, this is why I wanted to see it in Columbus, because like that matchup is crazy with the improvements Wesley's made, and then you know how Mike was a little bit like flatter at this year's Olympia because he had to be less in weight. So now we know Mike is coming in less, right? 202, I think his weight has to be. And then Wesley is like, I'm sure he doesn't even hit his weight cap just because of his height. Yeah, I don't know. It's going to be a crazy matchup, but I am really excited to see it. And man, they both have such different like structures that it's like apples and oranges, but it's also like to me, if it were me, if I own the IFBB, like I would change this. I would have no weight cap. I would want to see like Terrence at his heaviest, how he looks on stage. Boom, that's what he is. Who cares about like the height and the weight, whatever. If Terrence gets too big, then he moves into open, right? Or if Mike Sommerfeld gets too big and he looks like an open bodybuilder, see you, Mike. You're not in classic anymore. You're in open. That's
Terrence,
just my.
how far out are you from your weight cap?
Like 6 or so pounds.
And I'm pretty sure everybody else are really they're trying to scrape. Hosmer is currently what 50 pounds of his weight.
That's a comfortable place to be. I agree in terms of like from a fan perspective with Missy. I think that it would make things more exciting. We'd get to see the people that we love to see at their absolute best. However, when that division was created, they really wanted to regulate the size, and because bodybuilding was starting to get crazier and bigger. So like, okay, we want to bring back that old school classic bodybuilding. And the only way to do that is to regulate the size that these guys are amassing on their frames. And so it is interesting because I agree that we're not able to see the best of some of them because of that. But I guess that is the cue to go up to either the 212 or open, right? Like Mike can go and compete in the 212, right? And with his shape and his symmetry, I mean, that could be a good option for him. Who knows? You know what I mean? What are your thoughts? What do you, Stuki? What you have a look on your face? Tell me what's going through your head.
What's my thoughts? My thoughts are, I think by removing a sort of weight cap could just open a can of worms where all of a sudden it becomes very subjective. I mean, I'm sure like people like Terrence who are currently got plenty of space to still max out, and then you got everybody else, Niall and Hosmer, Dino, there's Mike are scraping the barrel to get to their to their stage weight, to their limit. Terrence, how many times have they increased the weight limit now for Classic Physique?
Oh Lord, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 times.
So
Only when Chris was there.
Yeah,
I did not
think
know that.
I know my
Wow.
weight limit now is like 182, and it used to be, I think, like 170 when it first started.
Yeah.
What?
So
Yeah.
that
is
was my point.
interesting. Wow. That is,
Yeah.
I'm so glad you brought that up because I did not know that. That's
Yeah.
good information right there. Wow.
Away from stage weight, I do want to talk about someone else who made their pro debut in Classic Physique. Terrence, Sam Sulek.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy is. There was a lot of I don't know why, but there's so much negativity around him going to the Arnold's. People just seem to forget that if you win the overall at the amateur show, you have an automatic qualification to compete in the pro Arnold's. It's not an invite. He earned it. He earned it by winning the overall the amateur. Now, of course, what did you make of Sam Sulek's debut? Because I thought condition wise he looked peeled. There's obviously areas to improve, but let's not forget, this is only his second year as a bodybuilder, first year as a professional.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm not a fan of like Sam in this, like in the sense of like his social media and whatnot. I guess I'm too old for that. But I met him in January, and he's a very nice kid, and I get the appeal. You just I get the appeal of it. So I'm not a fan of like older dudes like in my generation and up, talking shit because he just gets on stage. I think his win at the Arnold amateur was fair. It wasn't a deep lineup, but fine. At the Arnold, I do think that the guy that plays tonight, Paul Canoe, should have been higher. I will say that, but in terms of how Sam looked, I thought he did a good job. He was in shape. He just obviously needs to get bigger, and two, he needs to work on his posing. And I guess he was talking about that in the interview. It seems to me that he's just trying to do everything on his own, just for whatever reason, like he just wants to. Totally fine. But I think that's a huge thing he needs to improve on moving forward.
I want to throw this back to yourself, Terrence, and then I'm really keen to get your input here, Missy. After he won his pro card, he'll have been at 1 year as a pro. And I think a lot of people were very surprised we saw plenty of changes in his physique, his condition. However, his posing didn't seem to make any improvements. And I guess for people who see Classic Physique, they see Classic, and one thing they see from majority, especially the pros, is their ability to really, their presentation is a strong point, something that they practice, their craft, the endurance. They know their strengths to their weaknesses. What were you surprised about? Maybe that the lack of posing ability from Sam Sulek. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but it's just still it's the one thing that looked like just hadn't made any changes since he turned pro back at the Arnold Amateur.
Who was that, for me or for?
Oh, for you, sorry.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, no, I agree, man. Posing is one of those things that, like, if you don't have it, you can't really learn it on your own very well. Like, I think, like, because it's an art form, like people typically can't learn, like say for instance dance. You can't, like, most people, if you can't dance already, you're not gonna be able to teach yourself how to dance. You're gonna need to hire someone and get some help. And I think that is what he needs to do. Because I mean, like, in terms of the coaching, the prepping himself, that's just science. Once you know the macros, once you know cardio stuff, you can look at yourself. You can do that and learn that on your own. But, like, the posing can be a lot harder to do.
Missy, did you catch any of Sam Sulek on stage at the Arnolds?
Did, yes.
So, I mean, you're another one where you've really perfected your craft when it comes to posing. We saw it in the fitness and now transitioning into figure. What advice would you give Sam Sulek going into the Arnold UK, which are only a few weeks away? Is that enough time to make some notable changes in his overall presentation on stage?
So I am a big Sam Sulek fan. I do watch his YouTube here and there. I did watch his YouTube leading into prejudging. So he was in his hotel room talking about how, oh, I'm going to pick a song tonight.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, I saw it.
And I'm like, Sam,
say no more.
Dude. Wendy, this is like the professional thing, right? That we were talking about. You have to hold yourself to a higher standard. You have to be like a Terrence Ruffin on stage. You have to show that that graph that you have in posing. And Sam just isn't quite there yet. I personally think he does need to hire a posing coach. And then as for the routine thing, I hate when guys say they just throw it together the night before. Because especially like in the women's division, I don't want to make this like men against female, but the men are making so much more money, right? And they are bringing a lot of fans. So yes, they should be making that much money, but for crap's sakes, come prepared. Like,
oh, 100%. Yeah, like earn it. Like, like 100%. Yeah.
It's like when you're in college and you have that one student who's like, I didn't even study. And then they get like the highest score in class. It's like justified saltiness. You know what I mean? Sam Sulek is the most popular guy in the industry right now. I mean, Chris Bumstead is no longer competing. So now we've got Sam Sulek. And so he really is that new generation kind of voice of this industry that's kind of able to sprinkle out into the mainstream and pull people in. And so, it's people who have such a high level of tenure and respect for the craft, like Terrence. We have these athletes who put so much into their craft and their artistry and everything like that. So it's almost like insulting when, somebody's like kind of like on paper, like at your level, but putting so much less work and gets so much praise and so much. So that I feel like if it was in my division, there was somebody that was coming in, I wouldn't be like jealous. I wouldn't be like salty because, there's like envy, but I would be like, like, I put so much into this. I've been at it for years and I spent hours and hours. And then, you have somebody who's not putting that effort into it. So, we might, there's going to be definitely a learning curve for him. But we'll see. I'm going to say this about him though. I have a lot of respect for the fact that he, is such a public figure and he's willing to go into the fire and risk all the hate and all of the criticism and everything. I mean, that to me makes him pretty badass. He's going to the big shows and he knows there's positive, but there's negative, and he just does it anyway. And I have a lot of respect for people that are willing to jump into the fire despite all of that. So I'm going to give that to him.
Yeah. Terrence, I'm sure you can agree with me on this, but like one thing we learned from John Meadows is that you should always be a student, right? You should always be learning from people.
Yeah.
And I just think, man, if Sam he's sponsored by Raw, he's probably with Chris Bumstead a lot. Get
Mhm.
some help on at least the mandatory posing. I don't want to see the
Yeah,
side
yeah, yeah. I
shot
agree. I
smiling
agree. Yeah.
like hit your mandatories properly. Please.
No, no, I agree. I think it's just the mandatories. I mean, yeah, that'll be a good start.
Yes.
And yeah, Chris could be that guy. Like, I don't know how much he travels or anything. I know, but yeah, that would be a great thing, for them to do.
Have you ever reached out, Terrence?
About
It's not,
posing.
it's not the first time Sam's referred to you in regards to someone he looks up to when it comes to presentation.
I didn't know that. I sent him a voice note before I ever met him, going into the Arnold about some posing stuff, and he didn't respond. But after we met in January, we started chatting a bit more. But I just wished him
Come
luck,
on, Sam. We got Terrence here.
I didn't
Big
know.
money right here.
I'll make the offer, to do it. Like, I don't need like to be on YouTube or anything like that. I don't do posing coaching anymore. So yeah, be willing to help for sure. I'll send the offer and see what he says. Yeah.
That's the sound bite right there. That's the
There's
sound
my
bite.
clip. Exactly. I'm saying Terrence offering support for Sam Sulek.
Yeah.
That's it. Terrence, I really appreciate your time. Apologies about the technical issues to get you on. But
He kicked me out and I couldn't get back in.
I know.
Yeah.
Sorry. That's my bad. My bad.
All
Terrence,
good.
I appreciate your time. Thank you again.
Of course, of course. Y'all have a good day.
Take care.
You too.
Okay, guys. I want to finish off on, let's say finish off, just very touch on very briefly. Wellness, we saw Ryan get the win. So very much well done to her. That we saw, the title staying in Brazil. The wellness title is not leaving. So congratulations to herself as well at Bikini. I want to finish on Bikini because I was very much trying to build a hype for this with 4 of the top 6 Olympians competing. All 4 had something to prove. Ashlyn had never won the big one. Aimee is a 2-time second place. Ashley Kaltwasser was sure that she still got it. And Lauralie dropping to a worst place in Olympia, 6th place under a new coach, something else to prove. Missy, did you feel the bikini division delivered?
Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh. Big congratulations to Aimee Delgado. She is a fellow First Nations like myself, so I am like so proud of her. What a huge win, and she's got her daughter like looking up to her. So super, super happy for Aimee. And then Lauralie coming, from 6th to 2nd place at the Arnold, probably not the outcome she wanted. Tough when you have a new coach. So hopefully they'll be able to nail that for Olympia, figure out like the mishaps. I'm sure, he's got it under control. But yeah, and then Phoebe coming back after like a year and a half downtime. So she looked absolutely incredible. I have to say, Phoebe's midsection is one of the best in the women's bikini division. I love her athletic look. She's going to be such a threat at the Arnold UK. I wish I was there to see her.
I have a question. I have a question for you. I'm sorry. I wanted to know, like, what do you think that Lauralie would have to do to overcome Aimee? Because you said, clean up the mishaps or whatever. What do you think it would take for her to overcome Aimee at this point going to the Olympia?
Is that me or
Missy?
Oh, okay.
You, Missy. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So just with my eye and seeing her like through Instagram and Suki's uploads on BTS TV, I think she was a little too shredded for the bikini division. I think that this is the year that the judges are making, hey, this is your division. We saw with Fit Model, Janet going into the Japan Pro. I was thinking, man, Janet's going to come out the winner here. Well, Emily ended up winning. This is a clear Fit Model
Good
physique.
point. Yeah, that's
Now
a good
we
point.
have Yeah, the bikini, we had Maureen win the Olympia this year, very soft, round. Aimee, again, very round, softer in the midsection compared to Lauralie. I thought Ashlyn was more comparable to Aimee than Lauralie. So I don't know. It's so hard being a
Yeah,
judge,
no, I
right?
get that. No, that's actually a really awesome assessment.
What is your
It is, you know what? Now that you mention it, you kind of put that in my head, and I'm just gonna piggyback off of what you said, and I actually totally agree with that. I think that's a really good assessment that they're really when you look at the Arnold and you look at the Olympia, these are the shows where the tone is set for the entire industry, and the judges take that very seriously. So they have to take extra love and care in the decisions that they make, and so they have to be really careful about swaying one way or another because maybe they really like this physique or whatever. They have to put so much into, okay, who we pick is going to set the tone for this division, and everybody's watching. And so, when you look at a result like that, you look at Aimee Delgado, I agree with you. I think she was a little softer in the midsection. She had a little bit more roundness, a little bit more fullness. And so, with that said, that is probably what took her over the edge and gave her the title. And that is a good assessment on what Lauralie would have to do to overcome, because I think that Lauralie still has it in her to win. I'm a Lauralie fan, but again, it's not like about who you're a fan of. I just really do feel like Lauralie still has it, and if she nails it and she gets that right combination to fit the criteria the way the judges are rewarding, it's going to be a very exciting Olympia. I'm going to say that.
I remember IFBB Pro Judge Sandy was a guest on the Men's Physique radio show, and she talked about the fact that on the bikini side at the Olympia, which usually the Olympia sets a standard, the blueprint of this is what we look for. None of the top 6 brought it, and when you look at the top 2, Maureen had the shape but not the condition, and Ashley had the condition of the shape. So it's still put in a grey area what they're looking for, because now we're looking at Maureen, and some people think, well, is that the bikini look we're going for? Now, we saw Emily Chanel win the Fit model, so there's a blueprint of Fit model. Now they wanted to showcase this is the blueprint for bikini, and now you can see a clear difference. And the feedback I saw from Becky Clausen, who was one of the Arnold Classic judges of the weekend, was also exactly what you said, Missy, that there was an element of hardness from Lauralie, which will now need to be reduced going into Pittsburgh, because Lauralie and Aimee will be going head-to-head again at Pittsburgh. It's happening. She's going to defend the title. And Lauralie's coach, Damien, who said Arnold Classic was phase 1, and phase 1 was about understanding the look that they want from Lauralie and making those changes into phase 2 at Pittsburgh. We're going to see these two go head to head, with phase 3 being Olympia. And if we remember on a YouTube video from Lauralie, Damien's quote going into Olympia was, you're going to see something that they've never seen before in the bikini, and this will be the epitome of what the bikini look should be. So
yeah,
that was some very strong words.
Going into the Arnold, yeah.
Yeah, and of course they refer to the Olympia, but of course we were expecting to see something fantastic from Lauralie. I believe we did, 100%. We saw a very, very good Lauralie, but now of course it sounds like they've also got better understanding of what the judges are looking for, and it seems to be that there are some easier changes to make going into the Pittsburgh in May.
Yeah, she's not hiding out. She's out there. She's putting herself out there. She's not, because she's an Olympia champion. She doesn't have to be doing these shows. She could just kind of hide out and just show up on the Olympia stage. But she's running into the fire, and I gotta respect that.
And arguably one of the best ambassadors for the bikini division. She's amazing.
I want to throw over to you both, because I spoke to a number of coaches over the weekend, and they all had the consensus that Ashley Kaltwasser will be competing for a long time now, and eventually there are elements that might be declining. We just see her drop to 5th place at the Olympia. She was 4th at the Arnold Classic. The consensus for a lot of coaches is the big 5 in bikini is Maureen, Lauralie, Ashlyn, Aimee, and Jasmine Gonzalez. Those 5, and the gap to the rest is they feel that this is the five that could be fighting out for Olympia title for a number of years. These are the standard. I'll have to start for you, Missy. Is that something you would agree with?
Yeah, we can't forget about Jennifer Dory. Like whenever she decides she's going to come back, she's in that top as well. I do think Ashley Kaltwasser should be in there as well. I'm just going to be honest, what I saw at the Arnold. I love Ashley. So this is just me being like a tiny bit nitpicky, but I think with her posing, she does have very good posing. She gets in, shows them what they want, and then gets off. All of the other girls now have added this little bit of flair. Like we saw Lauralie with this hand across. She did this thing. Very like figure-esque, right, Wendy? She added a little like flair to it. Ashley's not doing that stuff that the other girls are doing. So all of this, like, the presentation of your physique, I think the judges take all of that into account. Maybe Ashley needs to spice it up her next show on her posing. She may get a better look because that's what the judges are seeing, right? It's like the first look, the first time you come out, and then they start comparing you, putting you in the call outs. So I don't want Ashley to go anywhere. She's still like super young. She has so much going for her. She's already, how many times Miss Bikini Olympia, right? She's won so many times.
3 Olympia titles, yeah.
Yeah, 3. So
I almost wonder if her tenure and like her like routine-esque kind of like, winning streak, it's almost like it's put her on almost like a robotic path, if that makes sense. Like she is so consistent. She's so used to being on that stage that you know how it feels. I mean, when you have been out of competing for a little while and then you step on that stage and those lights hit and that fresh, exciting feeling that you have of like, it's just this magical feeling, Sometimes stepping away isn't just because your body needs it. Sometimes that fresh feeling where you walk out with like the sparkle and the aura around you, and it doesn't look like you're just like on like a robotic routine. Like Ashley is so consistent. I almost wonder like what it would take to like just pull her off that stage and set her back on that stage with that fresh pop of, this isn't just another day in the office. This is, I am here and this is fresh and exciting. And do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I think, look, the bikini lineup delivered of what I hope was going to happen. We saw one of the best Lauralie's, the best Aimee. I mean, I know her coach Jamie said we finally worked it out. We now know what to do to bring the best Aimee. Ashlyn, another one. Neil Cash is still looking for that first big win. We know Ashlyn is going to the Arnold UK. You'd imagine she will be the favourite to win. We know Phoebe was 5th, and the feedback for Phoebe was to make some adjustments to her front pose. And if she makes some adjustments, then maybe she can challenge Ashlyn for the Arnold UK title. Phoebe Fagan was the first ever Arnold UK winner a few years ago. I just want to finish off. Missy, you weren't at the show. What was your highlight from this year's Arnold Classic?
My highlight has got to be Nick Walker, just owning that stage, seeing him come back, feeling like good about himself, confident, hitting those most musculars. I love seeing him shine on stage, and getting second place is freaking amazing at the Arnold. He walked away with $250,000, great check. So that was definitely my highlight, seeing my boy get up there and put on a good show for us.
Wendy, I'm going to switch the question slightly different for you. What was your highlight away from the bodybuilding stage?
That's a really good question. Well, my highlight was I last competed in the final Figure International in 2022. So I was in the graduating class. And after getting out of that bubble of being an athlete competing on that stage, I have been able to go to the Arnold a couple of times, is not an athlete, to see all the other incredible things that happen at the Arnold. We get in this kind of like egocentric bubble where we feel like we're the center of the universe. And when you step outside of that bubble, you see there's the strongman competition. There's like, there's arm wrestling going on. There's, foosball championships going on. There's all these crazy little nooks and crannies in the fitness industry. And I would say that it's exciting to be kind of out of the bubble and to see how serious we are about bodybuilding, that other people are just as serious about their own unique spaces. And I get so much joy in seeing people be passionate about their own special world. So that to me is a huge highlight, being out of the bubble, right?
I think for myself, if I look away from the bodybuilding stage, I mean, I'm torn between two. I mean, one, it was very humbling, even at the airport or restaurants or at the expo, that I had people recognize me from BTS and saying very kind things about the channel. So that's always great to see. I think for myself, there was two in one. Dark Sport was nice enough to give me a great location for the Ramon Dino guest posing. And Ramon Dino is one of my favorite guys at the moment. I absolutely love it. Love the guy. And the place was off the hook. But I will say my highlight was the Sunday seminar. And it was a moment with Kai Green and Phil Heath. And it was Kai Green very much now accepting, saying thank you to Phil Heath. And for me, because when I got into bodybuilding, it was through Phil Heath. And Phil Heath is forever my goat, because that is what I relate to. I wasn't there to see Ronnie Coleman and Jay Cutler, and therefore those who having their things, their own seminar, is great, but I wasn't there when they were competing back and forth. But I was there between Phil Heath and Kai Green. And that's why seeing those few moments of those two sharing the memories, but also being so respectful of each other, and Kai Green saying thank you, he's now able to look back at his golden moments, knowing that they helped him grow, and a key part of that was Phil Heath. That was without a doubt a big moment. I know from Phil Heath, I spoke to him a moment for many times, this was something that he's always wanted Kai to accept or to say, and to have that moment there, I think was an iconic Arnold Classic moment.
Yeah,
I
and
love
it's
that.
you captured that too, Suki. Like I
Yes.
literally just saw that on the page this morning on BTS, and I got emotional because I grew up, that was my era of bodybuilding, seeing Phil on stage, and Kai battling it out. So when they like did the like bro handshake, I was like, I was like,
I
oh my
know,
God. It was awesome. Good to see. Hopefully we see more of that. I'm sure, I've had my rivals in the day too, right, in fitness. And, hopefully at one point we can all like mend bridges and stuff like that. And
Full circle moments.
yeah, of course. So yeah, very cool, Suki.
100%. Missy, I want to say thank you for being, I asked for 10 minutes of your time. I ended up getting an hour and a half of your time. So, big thank you so much for your time. Obviously, thank you for Andre and, of course, Terrence Ruffin as well, being part of it. Wendy, my co-host, I really appreciate it as well, because this was our first episode together. And no doubt that some of the other episodes will be a bit more easier. This was the Arnold Classic. Everybody was traveling home at certain different times. So I'm glad we got a chance to do a full recap for Monday Night Muscle, which is actually coming out on Wednesday, not Monday, but moving forward, it will be back on Monday. It was just because I was traveling back to the UK on that day. So thank you again, guys, and we'll see you at the next episode.